so unnecessary. It's unreal.
Like, you'll be scared. Does anybody go into it not scared?
No.
I mean, who's that confident, right? You know what I mean?
Maybe, but I mean, I like the little bit of angst every once in a while. That's not good, but
It's not. I know. It is weird. Like, I look back at when we were 20 and 19. We got married at 20 and 19. I'm like, how are we even attracted to those kids?
I just enjoy the challenge of, hey, here's an obstacle, figure it out, and I don't know.
I can give you some more obstacles to figure out.
Oh boy.
So you think you have this right?
Absolutely.
You think it's set up? Welcome back. Josh got some new leveled up audio equipment, and he's dying to test it out to see if it works. And I've been wanting to film a Q&A with him for so long. You guys have given me so many good questions over on Instagram. So we're going to just crack open what did I get here? I was at Trader Joe's, which is quite the treat. This is pomegranate punch. Are you down to try it? We have absolutely opposite tastes when it comes to drinks and candy. And
so it's pomegranate? Is that how you say it? Pomegranate.
You gonna try it first?
Kind of skeeves me out, but I'll try it.
Smell it. I love pomegranate. I'm sure it won't taste as good as pomegranate, but you can try it.
I don't know. It's okay. I mean, yeah.
Wow. Bad. It's so fizzy. It's very light.
Good.
It's very light. You could drink a whole can of this easily.
Right.
Okay. Well, anyway.
But this microphone will pick up
all the slurping.
You slurping and drinking.
Gotta love the Christmassy packaging. I will do another Q&A hopefully in January if I am able to get it edited in time, and I'll do one of my own. But these had you in mind. I wanted to hear your perspective on these.
Short and sweet, huh?
Yes. And if you're wondering where we're sitting, if I have to edit this, I wanted to be able to see my pretty Christmas decor and the pretty stars and stuff. So that's why we're in the living room. The kids are down for bed. It was like quite the day. Anyway, I think this feels like a treat.
You had a fun day today?
I did, yeah. Kind of. If I forget that I'm turning 30, I can have a good day. No.
It's just a number. Age doesn't matter. You're in the prime of your life.
Yeah, I try to tell myself it's only getting better.
No,
real life is about to start, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully real life is a good thing, right?
That's right.
Oh, man. Anyway, so I think we got the preliminaries out of the way. Are you ready to get going? These are like, some of them are like crazy serious and some of them are hilarious. And yeah, I think we're going to have hopefully some encouragement for you today in all of this.
Short and sweet and concise, to the point.
Right.
Oh, boy, that's going to be tough for me. That is like the opposite of what I am.
Telling Josh to be to the point. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's okay. I wrote all these questions down on my handy dandy planner. Are they in stock right now again?
Oh, yeah.
Josh is our packager, our mailer, all that stuff. He's on the back end. If you email support, that's him at the back end. So, wow. Should we get right into it?
Yep, let's do it.
Some of y'all are so nosy. Somebody says, how are you guys financially?
Financially.
I don't even know, so I'm going to sit here and get the report from him. He's the guy that does all the back end of stuff. Yep. And, yeah, I mean, we talk about it in the car and stuff, I guess.
Right. I mean, you could handle it if you wanted to, but you would struggle, I think.
No, I have no idea.
Right.
My mom did all the bookkeeping, and she never taught us anything. And she did it all on paper.
Yeah, it's all electronic, and so QuickBooks. we run a lot of QuickBooks, so it's technical. There's a lot of accounts and weird things that you got to know. My dad taught me quite a bit about that. He got me started in it. And then, of course, my accountant helped work through it. But financially, how are we financially? I mean, hey.
Are people allowed to ask that? I feel like that's so rude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. Money is like a taboo topic, same as like politics and stuff.
Yeah, it is kind of. But yeah, I mean, we're not.
I hate that question.
Yeah.
Like, we're blessed. We
are
blessed in this area.
It's a tough question to answer because obviously it's none of anybody's business where our finances are. But at the same time.
Well, I was a school teacher, and then I was a mom for about a year where I wasn't bringing any money. Right. And then I started a hobby that turned into a side job. So we've been always able to have like a little bit of a side income at least at some point. So that's been awesome. But I feel very blessed and very rich most days. And then the next day I feel very like, grr, how can we work so hard and yet have nothing to show for it? Like, we had a guy over here the other night to look at our patio. because we have our backyard's like a swamp kind of, and we would love to be able to host our house. We just have people everywhere when we want to have people over. They're just like, I mean, we can sit 6-8 people at our dining table if they're little kids. And we have people in the sun porch, and I don't know. It just would be my dream someday to be able to host and everybody just sit down together at like a long table. You're like grilling burgers on the grill, and I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that costs money. And so it's like, ugh, is that a necessity, you know? Yeah. And there was a time in our life where the option of putting a patio in wouldn't have been an option at all. Like, we didn't come into our marriage with
lots of money. We didn't
credit
have
card,
much.
But we didn't come into it with credit card debt or college debt of any kind.
The only debt we've really ever had at all our life is a mortgage. But a lot of that comes from the way we were raised.
Our lifestyle.
And the way we were raised.
And that's not uncommon here, I would say.
No.
People have like medical expenses and like mortgages and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's where the church comes in. You know, your medical things. Obviously, we have Christian health care, and we're blessed to be able to use that. But even for those that can't, every family's different. The church serves a big purpose when it comes to someone who's struggling financially. And that takes discernment from the leaders to know who's handling their money wisely and if they need help and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're Mennonites. We're Bible believers, Jesus followers and everything. But it also comes with its own culture too. And that's something I don't think a lot of people feel is like that support of like your church being behind you.
Correct. Yeah.
When you need it. Even just prayer support, like that mental game of knowing other people are praying for you in certain situations is like huge. And then also, yes, like you said, we can give financially when we're a brotherhood at the end of the day. And I think that's so beautiful. That's something I grew up with, and I don't think I always feel it until I think about it like consciously, or you're going through a rough time or a time of need, or you see an opportunity to give. And
when you see that in action,
it's so beautiful.
It really is. And we've had the experience of seeing that in action.
But
next question.
Sorry. Actually, that reminded me of one. We were talking about church and giving and all that stuff. People were wondering more about Mennonites and stuff. Why don't we do like one Mennonite question in case you're like new to the channel and you don't know a ton about like our Mennonite lifestyle and stuff. I have a whole tons of playlists and stuff that we can talk about that I can link down below, and you can find out a lot more. But since you're here, Josh, they want to know, do Mennonites vote? Can they like be police officers or get like, what's the word? Not ordained. Can they get elected? Or like, what do we think about weapons and guns and stuff? So I just want to take over.
You're giving me the topics that are touch and go here. You know, I got broad shoulders. I'll take it. So typically in the Mennonite circles, obviously we wouldn't be police officers, and we wouldn't, seek elected positions. You can look at it many different ways. I have no desire. I would never want to.
We're non-resistant, and you can't be.
It's a big part of it. Right.
A police officer, carry a gun, enforce the law, and be good at your job if you're going to be like, I'm non-resistant. It's not going to, that doesn't really work. And then as far as like getting elected, I would never run, or you would never run for office, because if you wanted to get elected, you have to probably endorse things that you really,
correct,
your conscience doesn't feel good about, just in the name of the lesser of two evils type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think we see that in like these elections we just had. You almost have to just vote for the lesser of two evils, because both sides stand for things that we would not endorse. Part
of that question was, do Mennonites vote? And I don't know. My experience, I would say maybe 35, 40% maybe of Mennonites vote.
Yeah, a lot do not vote.
Amish probably vote more than Mennonites do, maybe. I personally have no issue with voting. That's my opinion. Many other Mennonites would have the opposite opinion.
I would say that, like, us as Mennonites, we believe a lot of the same things like the mainstream Christians would believe, like the Baptists and the Lutherans and the Methodists and everything else. But there's a few things we hold to pretty staunchly that is kind of the way we believe Jesus would have wanted it, obviously. But at the same time, there is different angles of looking at it. But we believe in, one, non-resistance, and two, the two kingdom concept, where we are first a part of God's kingdom. Whoa. We're first a part of God's kingdom. And then secondly, we are trying to be good citizens, raise good citizens, like having families with children that are upstanding citizens. That's as patriotic as you can get, if you ask me. But we're not like marrying ourselves with the world, because we're first God's kids. Yeah.
That's
part of God's kingdom.
We're God's children. We're part of his kingdom. That needs to be our focus. And so if you get too heavily involved with the political elected positions, it takes time and attention away from God's kingdom, I think.
Well, you can do a lot of good with like
absolutely,
stuff like that too. But I don't think at the end of the day, my conscience could align with a lot of things you have to align with if you were going to run for office.
And you know what? I think there's lots of great Christian people that run for office. And
what about weapons?
Weapons?
Guns.
I have guns, so and I mean that's
most Mennonites are actually have guns in their house, probably because of hunting for one. I don't know. Like I have a family member who just does he likes to shoot target practice for recreation.
Yeah.
We're redneck around here a little bit.
Yes. We're country enough in this area.
Yeah. And we eat our food that we shoot too.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Well, I have a good question here, but first, something that has been a point of contention in our marriage for years and years has been
cell phones.
So
you and cell phones.
No, not just me and cell phones. We've been married 9 years, and in that amount of time, I've probably gone through at least 9 cell phones, maybe more. Not just my fault; it's his fault too. Like Mennonites, we don't have pockets. I feel like half the time I wear a lot of dresses, and I don't put my phone in my pocket when I do have a pocket. And so I'm always like, Josh, can you carry my phone? Or like, I put it in my stroller and it bounces out and gets destroyed. I drove over one with my bike.
With your bike, yep.
Josh broke 2 of my phones actually, so let's not even get into that.
Yeah.
Accidentally, of course. But anyway, so he only lets me get ugly, sturdy, military grade cases. It's ridiculous.
The last 2 years or so, and it's worked.
He switched, and it's finally, well, to varying degrees of success. But I finally found a compromise, and Casetify is actually sponsoring this video. I'm sure a lot of you heard of them already, but I like them because they're so pretty. They're so cute. There's so many options. Yeah. He likes them because they protect my phone. You actually can drop them. There are bounce cases you can drop from 21.3 feet, and they're protected. And with their EcoShock impact absorbing cases, you can actually drop them from 11.3 feet. We're going to test it and try it. Oh, this hurts me to even think about. So even their clear cases meet military grade standards, and you can drop them from 6.6 feet. This is the Ultra Impact, so I'm going to drop it from as high as I can. This feels so wrong. I can't. Here we go. That was a good drop. All good. So as you can see, phone is totally fine. They actually have a Recasetify program where 65% of their cases are made from recycled phone cases, which is so cool. But let me show you the designs that I chose. The first one I have here is this leather looking case, and I have the word.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is sweet. You can put your name on it. I'm not a fan of having my name on my phone. So I actually put the word Haven on here. And if you want to know why I put the word Haven on my cell phone, you can come back for my December 27th video where I talk about my vision board for the new year, things like that. The next one I chose is for my kids' sake. They love when I have a fun phone case. And so this one has lattes and coffee on it. And then it has a little puppy that looks right like our mini golden doodle Rio. So they got such a kick out of this one when they saw it. And as you can see, they're super slim, super sleek.
Yeah.
And the edges, if you have a clear edge, they are not going to the yellow like some of the cases I've gotten in the past. And I did get more of a monochromatic black one that also is a little bit pretty. There's little rosebuds and stuff on here. So it's minimal and sleek looking, but it's also pretty. And then the last one, I think this is my favorite. I think this is the one that's going on my phone next. It has mushrooms and floral on it in like a moody color way. How would you like to describe this, Josh?
I don't know. Girly.
And
that's
this
cool.
one, I actually got like a glittery black edge on this one, so that's really pretty. So anyway, you can check them out down below. I'll put a link. And currently, if you go to casetify.com/meganfoxunlocked, you're going to get 15% off of your order. Thank you, Casetify, for sponsoring this video and saving our marriage. Okay, maybe that's a little strong, but still. On back to the Q&A. What is a pet topic that you've been passionate about lately? You should hear Josh. Sometimes he just goes on a roll.
I'm typically more quiet and subdued. And nothing gets me fired up.
He's just not comfortable on camera.
Yes, I'm not. So
in real life, he talks a lot.
Yeah. So what is my passion? Lately there are some issues that have been kind of circulating in my head. How do you have an opinion and share that opinion but yet not be overbearing or overpowering with that? As a leader, how do you lead but not
be arrogant?
Good word. Arrogance. Yeah, exactly. There's some instances of arrogant leadership that I'm witnessing right now, and it's it's frustrating and kind of confusing.
Because you look up to your leaders.
Yeah.
And you emulate them, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like, if you want to be a good leader, you have to allow other people to have their ideas and express them. But how do you then take that into consideration and move forward? And not disregard what their opinion is, but still give them some feeling of credibility. Okay, you have your personal convictions and morals that you hold, your own ideas. And so, as a leader, I think you have to
impose them on everybody else underneath you.
No, you can't. You have to hold it lightly. I'm saying not impose, like, don't be hard-nosed with those ideas against someone. But you have to, there's loving ways to tell someone, hey, it's time, like, your opinion is wrong here, that you think it's wrong. And if you're the leader, if you're the boss, but still make that person feel valuable as an individual. I don't know. It's thoughts I've had in my head.
So you have no real answer or ending to
No,
this.
I don't, because I don't know what the right answer is. What I am passionate about is the fact that you cannot be arrogant with your opinions, especially when that opinion is not a critical or biblical opinion. Like, it's just an opinion. It's just that.
So maybe people need to learn to categorize like holiness and doctrine in one category and opinions and preferences in another, and not blur the lines.
Well, and for me, it's just, for me, I need to go, okay, how am I doing that in my life? Is there areas where I have an opinion that really is just that, but yet I hold it so strongly that
killing relationships.
Or killing relationships. It's great. That's exactly the wording I'm looking for.
This is like a car chat. This is how we do it. We drive and we miss our roads because we're in a car chat.
I forget where we are.
Yeah.
I'm just driving.
The kids are in the back singing off key, and we're up here like rehashing all the world's problems. But
correct.
Yeah, and like I think that's what's so dynamic about life, because there's always something else you're processing or thinking about or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think we're stepping into more leadership-y-ish type roles.
Yeah.
Leadership-y-ish type roles as we're like getting a little bit older. Like we're not always the like most of the time we're the follower, but like I'm a leader with my kids. You're the leader of our home. You own your own business. You're the boss, and and we sometimes feel too little to be thrown into those positions sometimes, or too like.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm near old enough to be in.
A lot of the time, I'm just like, I want my mommy, and it's like, well, tough. This is real life now. You gotta be the leader and stuff.
But you know what? Maybe I should talk to my dad more about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, maybe you should.
That's right.
It's so great to have parents you respect.
One of the questions was asking about leadership and how. Read the question, because you'd send it to me earlier.
About the wife thing.
Yes.
How do you be the leader of your home, especially if you have a capable wife, and how do you allow her to use her gifts and abilities as a leader or administrator while still being the leader of your home? Which some of you are like, that sounds so backwards because men aren't the leaders. But yes, that is a biblical principle. We believe, we're teammates. I would say. I mean, I hate that dumb question, who wears the pants or whatever. Yeah. But like in certain situations, that's one way you allow me to use my, like I do have the gift of like administration and like projects and seeing a task and you do this, you do that, delegating it out. And like, that's why I loved being a teacher and I love being a mom. I get to do that all the time. But so you let me do that in a lot of areas. But then there's other areas where he's the leader. And so we kind of know our strengths and weaknesses. Like, it takes a lot to orchestrate having people over and stuff. And so like he knows he's in charge of the outdoors and the grilling part, and I'm in charge of like I don't know, like just we work together as a team. Or if we're trying to like serve in a certain way, like I don't know, sometimes I have to step back and be the just watch the children and you go serve in the church position or something. It's kind of like an ebb and a flow, and you're not always 100% the boss, and I'm not always 100% the boss for sure either, Correct.
Yeah, it takes, I think, no matter what role, whether you're the leader or the co-leader, you have to, well, and that's what you are, right? In this, right. You like both individuals have to be humble enough to take a step back. Like when there is contention, you have to take a step back and go, okay, like, is this actually something that I like, that it matters that much to create a big ruckus about? So
where you think your way has to be the highway.
So that's what's been rolling through my head a lot. And sometimes when I see issues even in leaders that would be over me, when do you approach them? Like, how do you lovingly tell them, hey, you are really overdoing this? But I don't know.
Yeah, because you don't want to be arrogant either, or like impose your opinions too harshly.
Correct.
But it's hard not to push back equally hard when somebody else is pushing the other way. Like you just want to. You have that fight.
It's pride,
in you.
It's like I'm not going down. Yeah. So.
Will there be another baby soon?
So taking you inside the office here, of Josh and Megan, I have been saying not for a while, because I just feel like I think we need some time, but you never know.
It says, will there be a baby soon? I would say, yes, there will be a baby soon. We won't define what soon means, but there will be a baby soon, Lord willing.
Yeah. I love babies. I love having kids. I like children. I love my kids. And
but we want to do it well, too.
Right. That's exactly right. So there's a point where I think maybe we should take not quite so fast as we did the first 3, but who knows?
And the crazy thing is, it's not in our hands.
That's exactly right.
I think we've learned that so much with the third one.
Yep, I keep saying that.
How did you know you were ready to have kids? Like I was 26, you were 25 when we got pregnant. How did you know you were ready?
I still don't feel like I'm big enough to make that decision. But somehow here I am with 3 kids.
He wanted kids 2 years before I did. We were married 4 years, so we got pregnant. And he was ready for a kid 2 years in, but he never really, he's like, I'm ready when you are. And that was literally the discussion. And that was the end of it. I was teaching school. So I was really happy where I was. And then he was patient. He was patient for 2 more years. Because he's like, it definitely changed. Like he was going to keep working. We're Mennonites. We we prefer the mother to be at home with the children. I feel like that's the best place if possible. And you make that able for me to stay home with the kids because you're out earning the money, being the breadwinner, bring home the bacon. And so it was going to affect my life and my lifestyle a lot more than yours and my body and everything too. So I really respect that you didn't push me and I didn't realize it. Like, yeah, you had said it in passing and stuff, but you never pressured me. Like you bring the topic up sometimes, but you wouldn't pressure me at all. I never felt ready. The thought of being a mom felt so oppressive to me, and I need to make a video on this sometime. I don't know why I thought that because my mom never portrayed it like that at all. But in my mind, I thought when I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, it's going to like waste all my time and my talents and like what a boring life and existence. I love being a teacher and like being a boss in my domain and like all that stuff. And it just did not look glamorous or appealing. And it is not glamorous. It's not glamorous all the time at all. That's for sure. But there's so much like, oh my goodness, there's so much rewarding. Like, I feel like life only started when I became a mom, honestly. Right. It's just crazy how that works. But yeah, we went on a date on my birthday or close to my birthday, like in December. Like I was crying in the car. We were waiting for our Olive Garden reservation to work out. And I was just crying in the car and being like, I'm never going to want to feel like being a mom and having a baby. I'm never going to feel it. I don't feel like I'll ever feel like that. But I don't want to die alone and I want to have grandkids. And I was like, so I guess let's just see what happens. And it wasn't really a place of excitement. But you know what? When we got pregnant, I was so excited from that moment on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tried not to be excited because I'm very pessimistic. I was like, don't get excited. But I was so excited. It was crazy. I still dreaded it closer to the end. I'm like, oh, I have to quit my job, all this stuff. But I love it now. I'm so surprised. And if I can do it, you can do it. And I don't know if you'll fully ever be ready. There will be, you'll be scared. Does anybody go into it not scared?
No.
I mean, who's that confident, right? No. You know what I mean? It's fine to feel a little bit scared. But yeah, kids are such a blessing. And if you're going into it just to see what you can get out of it, that's definitely the wrong attitude to have too.
Right, correct. It's not about you.
Yeah. You're raising the whole next generation, the next workforce, the next voters, the next church. It's crazy. It's a lot of power.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry. I kind of took over that one. Did you?
No, that's fine. I enjoyed listening to that. I was ready I love kids. So I was kind of born ready for whatever life brings.
We got along with that, we got a lot of questions of how do you keep it spicy?
Yeah.
With kids around, how do you make time for you time with kids? And
it's intentional, I mean, right?
Honestly, I feel like there's way more mystery in it now, and you have to try a little harder to make you time happen because you have kids and like responsibilities and you're tired or like you have other things on your mind. I don't know. I feel like, and we're also both busy with our own things. So it's like fun to like connect and I'm kind of curious. What did he do today? Or like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm only getting to know you more as a person now. And like, just when I think I haven't figured out, he totally throws something out the window. And like,
do not.
You totally change something up. And I'm like, what in the world is going on here? Like now he loves Christmas all of a sudden. Oh, okay. Wonderful.
And last year I didn't like Christmas. I don't know.
Before kids. You did not like Christmas.
Right. But no. Yeah, I don't know. Life is still spicy somehow. So
oh dear.
It
is weird. Like I look back at when we were 20 and 19. We got married at 20 and 19. I'm like, how are we even attracted to those kids? Like, I'm sorry.
So small. Wow.
You were this scrawny little teenager.
Well, I've changed looks wise. I've changed a lot more than you have.
Oh, thank you.
Just saying. Any picture you put up, everyone could see that.
I don't know. But yeah, don't worry about that. But if they would probably want some like practical tips and stuff, I would say gauge each other's like level of tiredness when they get in the door, and if if you feel like you have some extra steam, maybe give it to them. Like sometimes I can see Josh coming home from work and he just looks like beat down, tired. He just wants a warm supper and to sit and watch the Monday Night Football game or something like that, you know? And other times he comes home, he's whipper, snapper, whatever. And I'm like, take the kids. I'm going to get supper in the oven or whatever. Yeah. And I think just like not always being the giver or the taker in that situation. Those first couple minutes in the door, I think are kind of crucial sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. If your first words when you see each other in the afternoon, evening is not kind or constructive words, it
kind of sets the tone for the whole evening. It's like, oh, I was excited to see you. Huh? You're clearly not excited to see me, or whatever. And we're not always good at this either. So I think but I think that's how we know the difference. Like we've seen it work both ways. And you know what I like that we do a lot is you come home from work and I'll be like, okay, what's your plans for the evening or whatever. Right. I mean, not that kind of plans, but like
I wasn't even thinking
like
that.
actual tasks and stuff.
So we can kind of see. For the evening?
And I'll be like, well, I was hoping to get this and this done, and I want to go to bed by 8. And he knows what that means.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. Like,
and then I got something to look forward to. Hey, you know.
Or like he might be like, I have so much book work to do. It's the end of the month. I have to pay all these bills, and I'll know. Okay, we'll keep the kids this evening. And like, we're very busy people, so I think it's good. I like that we do that. So when you have like expectations for an evening and like sometimes I'll be listening to a marriage podcast and I'll be like all like lovey-dovey and in my feels and I just can't wait till Josh comes home and we can like connect and like talk about stuff. And he comes home and he's like, oh, the battery died.
Back in it, right in the middle of a good conversation.
I know. I feel like I was like, well, I was on a roll there.
You loosen something up, tighten that knob, tighten it up good.
I think another thing that I absolutely hate, but it works so good is like trips and stuff. When you have like that time together without kids, away from responsibilities of life, you feel young, you have like good night's sleep.
And neither of our parents did that much.
No. And I feel like sometimes that generation makes us feel guilty for spending money on things like that. And I feel like it's the best use of my money. I mean, I feel like we come away sometimes different people. Like we grew more in a weekend than we did in like 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I guess, I mean, and every marriage has like different personalities too.
Completely.
Ours are both pretty strong.
The answers for us might not be the answers for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not everybody needs to put as much like work into things either, I think. But when you get to a place of like complacency, that's probably not a good place to be. Like,
no, probably not.
Do we homeschool?
No, we don't.
Do you ever wish you could wear jewelry?
No.
Mennonites don't wear jewelry. First Peter talks about like simplicity and things like that. And so I definitely think it's a very important principle I plan to pass on to my kids.
Right.
So I am glad we don't do jewelry. I don't have to worry about
kind
that.
Of unnecessary.
But in some ways I feel like a wedding band, I have a lot more expensive things than like a cheap, like you can buy cheap wedding bands and stuff. I feel like we spend money on other things. So I don't know if that's necessarily where it breaks down.
Right. Right.
But I don't care that much. No, I never wish for earrings or necklaces or anything like that. So
if I was going to spend a couple grand on something shiny, it would be new rims on my truck.
My word.
Which is not simplistic and of a simplistic mind. So, yeah.
As Mennonites, we could be pretty hard on like the jewelry and like simplicity and dress and stuff, and then we can go spend money on like other things if we're not careful, you know.
We don't have jewelry because we choose not to.
Sometimes I think about this too. Like, I pluck my eyebrows and shave my legs and all that stuff. But like you can have, like the standard of beauty these days is so ridiculously high. Like, you know, dyeing all your grays and Botox and like filler and everything. It's like, wow, if we all would just age gracefully, we'd all look the same level of beautiful and it'd all be good.
Yeah.
You don't think about that? You're a guy.
I definitely don't think about that.
Where do you see your marriage in 5 years? He loves questions like this. Thanks for asking him.
I don't do goal questions. I don't like. That is a topic that never goes over well in our marriage. Is goals and where do you see yourself
it drives
in
me
10
nuts.
years?
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that doors open and close.
He puts one foot in front of the other and doesn't stop until a door slams in his face.
That's right. And then I turn around and go find the next door.
You're pretty
But
buoyant.
as far as in 5 years where I see my marriage, you know what? Can I say I want to see it kind of where we're at? Like, why would I want anything to change?
Oh.
I don't want any big changes. I mean, sure, could we get along better? Maybe, but I mean, I like the little bit of angst every once in a while. That's not good, but
It's not. I know. Especially with like family, they don't get it that we're like kidding or like we're half serious, but we both like. But no, I don't think I'd need that to change as much as maybe like how we model conflict in front of our kids or something like that.
There you go. There's a good one.
Josh thinks someday. Okay, not really. You think it, but you voiced it a couple times about someday. Like you think there's definitely a need for like counseling and like Christian counseling and stuff.
Definitely.
And I'm like, well, it can't be marriage counseling because we're definitely not the role models. And he was like, well, not yet, but we've been through all the hard stuff.
That's
and like
right.
He's like, we know.
We'll figure it out.
And I do wonder though, things. Like those people that have like the easy marriages, can they identify with those who don't? I don't know.
Correct.
Like, I feel like we would be able to identify.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a goal I have, but in like Christian counseling, I feel like if you are behind closed doors, like with a couple, you'd probably want the wife. You'd probably want me there too.
Yeah.
Or something, but who knows where God will lead. How do you encourage your husband during hard times? Can I ask you that? How do I encourage you during hard times? Because they're there. Like, I mean, women are more moody. We have the hormones and stuff, but guys have bad days too, or bad weeks, or bad months.
I don't know how. Like.
I don't do anything.
No.
I make it worse.
I actually most times I'm not looking for. Like, I do like words of affirmation to a certain extent. I do like to hear you, but sometimes I just want to have you sitting beside me when I have a bad day. Just obviously not be negative when I'm having a bad day, but just be there. And other than that,
That's not a very helpful response.
What does every guy want?
What can we do?
What does every guy want when they have a bad day? Well,
a good meal on the table.
And that 8 o'clock bedtime.
Josh.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some things that I try to do intentionally are to like acknowledge that, this is how he feels, and he might feel differently later on, and hopefully he will. Like, things pass sometimes.
Yeah, good night's rest does a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And that might be a lot of it too. Is just.
And I feel like you never have a bad day unless you feel like somebody else is not 100% impressed with you.
Correct.
And then it really chafes. It like works on you and it makes you.
If I feel like I left somebody else down, that's when I'm at my lowest. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't want answers. I want encouragement. But encouraging words, just not. Don't give me answers to why my day was bad. I already know that. So anyway, every situation is different, but no.
And every guy's personality is different too. And I'm so glad so often that you're like the even keeled one. Thank the Lord most of the time.
Yeah.
But on those times where you are.
Let's flip it around. So what I do when you're having a bad day, and this is what I try to do, is I have to intentionally try to get you to see it's not all negative. Like, and you get in spaces sometimes where you think negative and that's all you can see. So my goal then is to, hey, here's the positives. Like, this is good. This is fine. Over here, look at this. This little thing over here that's not great. Doesn't matter. So that's my goal. That's what I try to do.
That and
maybe
like a good long just hug.
I thought maybe you were going to say a long bubble bath.
Oh, yeah, that helps too.
That's actually what I thought you were going to say.
Sometimes I just want to be the little kid and just like
be baby.
protect me, baby me.
Yeah, just a hug.
Okay, well, hopefully this audio sounded nice and crisp. I don't know.
We're going to find out.
Who knows? If it doesn't, we'll just use the regular camera audio, which is just fine too. But I really hope for Josh's sake this worked out because you have put so much time.
I have, but I'm enjoying
so much time into this.
It's a challenge and it's fun.
He just likes to test the mics and hear his own voice.
No. I just enjoy the challenge of, hey, here's an obstacle, figure it out. And I don't know.
I can give you some more obstacles to figure out.
Oh, boy.
like a hot tub out back over here. How can we do that for like $200?
Ain't happening. That's how that obstacle got fixed.
You're not a miracle worker.
Nope.
Anyway, thank you guys for chatting with us this evening. I hope some of it was helpful, or maybe you felt like, oh yeah, me too. I'm not the only one. Praise God. I don't feel so alone anymore. I don't know.
And any input, I read comments and stuff too. So any input on some of these things we're talking about, I'd love to see it. Neither of us know all the answers. Like I said, we said in there, I feel like I'm not old enough to be doing any of this or be in any of these positions, or wise enough might be the right word. I feel like for the most part, you're just kind of winging your way through life a little bit. You figure it out as you go. So I love hearing other people's input. I do. I love seeing it. I guess hearing it, seeing it.
What if it's not positive?
Oh, then I ignore you.
He just wants to be in an echo chamber.
Pretty much. You know what? Sure. Guilty as charged. No, I like to see the negative too, because I like to think of myself that I can take a hint or learn from other people.
It does mean a lot more, though, when somebody's giving you criticism in your own real, actual life, like giving you constructive feedback.
There's no point for negative feedback on an online platform, really. I mean...
Oh, people think there is. But yeah, they don't always see the full picture. Like I saw somebody was getting all kinds of hate comments about why are you getting up and feeding your baby every 4 hours at night. Here the baby had like a condition and they were waking their baby up. It's like, you don't know the full picture and you're not entitled to the full picture. And so
it's so unnecessary. It's unreal.
But you know what? This is the generation that's trying to navigate like those relationships with people online. Like I do it too. Like I listen to people. I think I know them. I perceive what I think I perceive, you know, but you have to remember it's like a 2D version. And we try to be open and transparent, but you're getting a sliver. I mean, and that's how it should be. Boundaries are healthy. Yeah. Anyway, we're out long enough. I'm ready for bed. It was definitely not an 8 o'clock bedtime tonight.
No.
Oh, thanks for being here. Thanks Casetify for sponsoring this video. Go check that link out down below for your discount, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.
See ya.